Hello, I'm Chris Judd. Paris Goebel knew at 11 that she would have a career in the world of hip-hop. But luckily, her dad, Brett, knew that too. With his support, at 15, she started the Palace Dance Studio. With her crews, Request and the royal family started to break records in the world hip-hop dance stage. But it was only after her father encouraged her to post her choreography on YouTube that she started to gain attention from some of the biggest names in the business. This is her story.
When I was younger and I first decided that I wanted to be a dancer, I definitely didn't think that I would end up, doing this, living this kind of life. But I think there was a point in my career where I really realized that, I do have what it takes to be successful in dance. I told my dad that I want to be a dancer. If he had turned around and told me that that's a, really silly idea, my life would have been completely different, And that's what's really cool is when I see the kids come to the studio, they have that hope in their eyes, that even if there's people outside the studio that don't believe in them, I can see that when they come to the studio, they really truly believe that they can do something with their talent.
Five, 6, 7, and 8, and 1, and 2, 2, 2. I knew that I wanted to start a dance studio when I was about 14 years old, and I think it was that feeling of, I wanted to dance, but I didn't feel like I had a home. And I just remember kind of telling myself, when you're old enough and when you're successful, you're going to create a place that kids can go to and dance and call that their home.
Move on? Yeah?
My dad helped me with that, 100%. He helped me find the place, he put the money down to open the place. So again, without my dad, it really wouldn't exist today.
It's an audition, people. 3 o'clock on Sunday, you can sit down as long as you want. You can fan yourself as long as you want. But if you've come together in the royal family, I'll tell you, I'm not the one choosing, but I'll be saying, no, they stood still during all the whole audition. Don't choose them. They don't like to work. Unbelievable.
I'm very black and white. To me, it's kind of like a yes or a no in life, really. It's like I either really like something or I really don't. And some people find that as a bad thing, but for me, that's how I've been successful, is knowing what I like and what I don't like, what I want to be a part of, what I don't want to be a part of. It's just being honest and truthful, not having all these grey areas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is she a baby?
I think we'll put her down, but I think she's good.
Yes, I like her.
Me personally, I don't think sugarcoating things, gets you anywhere.
We realised Paris had a talent, or it was a natural ability, when she was around the age of 3. And it was just in the lounge dancing, and we could just see the love but also the movement that she had and the timing and synchronization and all that just seemed to fall into place that just looked a little bit better than what a normal 3-year-old. And I think from that day on, we knew that Paris was going to be a dancer.
The lounge was my stage, and my mum always was enthusiastic. She always acted like, she'd never seen it before, even though I probably did it 10 times, that day. It was kind of like a tradition when people would come over, they'd have to sit down and then watch me dance. So I feel sorry for them now that I look back. To be honest, I just think I was born with it, with the love of it. The only forms of dance I knew were the classical ones, the ballet, tap, jazz. And so I grew up kind of thinking, if you want to be a dancer, that's what you have to do to make it as a, form it into a career, is you have to train at it and do the proper forms of dance. And it's crazy because at a young age I just knew that there was there was a certain style I wanted to do, but the ones I tried, I haven't found it yet. My mum took me to a hip-hop class, around the corner from where we live, and I was so excited, I was really excited. And she took me there, and the first night I went, I fell in love.
that's where it was like, okay, stop all the rest. She came home, had a discussion. Don't want to do the rest. I just want to do hip hop dance.
I had that moment that some people don't find till they're, like 25, 30, or just leaving school. But I had that moment literally when I was about 11 years old. That moment was, this is it, I found it. This is what I want to do, and this is what makes me light up. I feel like in New Zealand, if you're really openly confident about what you do, it's not very socially accepted. It kind of comes across as overconfident and like you think you're the best. So I think growing up I was a little bit shy about my dancing, but there'd be times where I couldn't deny it, and I loved to dance and I would get up and dance for people. I hated school. That was the truth. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I went to eat my lunch and to see my friends. And I wasn't necessarily a negative person at school. I was definitely an outgoing student, and I got along with all my teachers. When I was about 15 years old, I created a dance crew called Request Dance Crew. It was basically just friends of mine, that I asked, or friends of friends. Do you know anyone that wants to dance with me? I didn't even have an audition really or anything like that. It was just fun for us. We just did it for fun. And we loved to dance, and we weren't that good, but I was really passionate, and I was passionate about making these girls get good so that we could do something with it, And I would make up the moves, I'd mix the mix, and we would go around and ask people, do you have any free spots for us to perform? Like Pacifica, Polyfest, any shows. So basically we just performed for free for like a whole year, and then there was a competition that came up, and it was called Nationals. And this was our first competition. We entered and we came second in the varsity division. And it was just cool. I loved it.
At the age of 15, went to a parent-teacher interview at Auckland Girls Grammar and sat there, and the teacher was explaining to me how Paris needed to concentrate more in her essay writing. And I'm sitting there going, but she wants to be a dancer. So what is writing an essay about, I think it was geography or history, going to help her with her dancing? So I looked at the teacher and she goes, you really need to talk to her and get her. And I'm thinking, okay, that's enough. So I said to the teacher, thank you for that. I stood up, walked out of the interview, grabbed Paris's hand and said, that's enough school. And she left school that day. That was that.
I left school, and I think that I was a little bit discouraged and a little bit embarrassed, and it wasn't a good thing to leave school. I think halfway through the year that I left, I knew I had to get off my bum and do something with my talent, because I've got no other option. I've got no other choice. I started posting my clips on YouTube, and I'm really grateful now that I look back and think that that's what, I was encouraged to do by my friends and my family. For me, still being very shy about what I have to give and what I have to offer, I was very hesitant, but my dad sort of forced me to do it. And that's kind of when I knew, like, okay, I'm this girl from New Zealand. I love to dance. I make up my own moves. There's millions of people in the world that love to dance too, but people are looking at me. I can do something with this. I can take hold of this exposure and, turn it into a career so that I don't have to go and do something I don't want to do every day. I can wake up and get paid to move my body. I was like, cool, I can do this.
Once she left school, we now have a child at home with a dance career which equals nothing, thinking, what do we do? So she had started Request Up, and that was her love and passion with her girls' dance crew. And then we decided to take the girls to the States for a trip to go to Monsters of Hip Hop.
I heard about Monsters of Hip Hop, and my dad went through the website, and it was something that, looked really exciting to me. And I knew that every year they auditioned people, and they chose about 14 a year out of thousands of dancers to perform in a show. And this show's very prestigious. Like, if you get chosen, you're the best of the best. And all these agencies, all the choreographers come to watch you and sort of scout who's hard and who they can use for the next project. So I knew this was something I was interested in doing, and I knew this could be a big break for me.
Paris stood out immediately in that, to the point where I was not in there. My wife comes in and she's like, "You got to see this girl." So I'm going in towards the end, and I watch her and just kind of dumbfounded, and really refreshing to see that type of energy and emotion from a dancer. I remember this very humble, appreciative, quiet person, and you step in the ballroom and there's this beast on the dance floor. You walk in and your eye just goes immediately to Paris. She has this rawness about her that just comes from the heart. She just dances from the heart. Paris being self-taught has helped her tremendously because she has not been influenced by a lot of different styles. She's had to create that. And so in many ways, she's the influencer. She's the one that people are watching and seeing this new style, this new fresh energy coming onto the scene, and everybody's like, wow, look at that. And you know, I think she's got fans worldwide because of that, because of her unique nature.
So they had all these final nominees for Monsters of Hip Hop, and I had to wait and see if I got in or not. Making it as a nominee was enough for me, to be honest. I mean, it's 16 years old from New Zealand. You know, making it down to the final cut of America's Best, I was like, that's so cool. You know, I'm happy with that.
So Paris was selected for Monsters of Hip Hop cast and the show in LA. And I think when that happened, we sort of had a feeling.
After Request Dance Crew came second at the Nationals, we had the opportunity to fly to Worlds, which is the World Hip Hop Champs, and compete. I personally didn't think that we were going to come anywhere. It's not I didn't believe in us. I just was trying to be realistic. Like, we're going to try our best, but we're probably not going to come anywhere. We'll just do it for the experience. So we entered and we made it, you know, to the semis, and then we made it to the finals, and we won. And it was pretty much like, you know, one of the coolest feelings ever. Like, this is like the first time an all-girl crew from New Zealand had won the World Hip Hop Champs, and, you know, it was us. We made history, and it was cool. It was awesome.
8.12. You got it. Please welcome your gold medalist,
Well, after we won the World Hip Hop Champs in 2009, we went back the next year and we won it again. So I think that in itself was a bit of a statement, like, we're not just a one-hit wonder, we're here to make history. I got J-Lo's attention through one of my YouTube clips. It was a duo I did with a guy called Kyle Honogami, and it was like a sitting down piece, and it was black and white, and it was kind of more of an eclectic piece. Like, it was a little bit odd, and we just used our hands and our upper bodies, and for some reason that clip got huge. Like, people found it really interesting and really inspiring, and it was quite an emotional piece. And her boyfriend Casper, who choreographs for her as well, he must have shown her or somehow, but she saw that clip and she fell in love with it, and she kind of, I think, must have just said, I want that girl. And, you know, her management got hold of me and said, well, if you want to do this, then you need to submit your choreography. And you need to do it soon. You need to do it within the next 3 days. And so I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So I just, you know, called up the royal family. I was like, okay, who's free? Please come to the studio tonight. Like, we need to put something together. So basically I had to choose one of her songs, put together a piece, send it that night. And then, you know, they kept coming back, well, we want to see another piece. So I did about 3 pieces in total. They called me a week later and said, how do you feel about choreographing for our next world tour? And I said, yeah. Like, you serious? Yeah. Everything happened really fast with J-Lo. You know, I flew over to LA straight away, and I started working with her, you know, like day 2. So I landed, had some sleep, woke up, met her, which was like one of those moments where your jaw's on the ground, you're trying to be cool, but you're like really flipping out, this is J-Lo. And we did the pieces within like 2 weeks. I'm a pretty impulsive choreographer and I like to do everything last minute. That's just how I work. I work best that way. So every time I had a song to do for her, I would literally do it the night before, wake up, go to rehearsal and teach her. Some people think it's risky, but I prefer that. I like the excitement of that and just the whole process of kind of creating on the spot, And, she loved it. She asked me to do some more work. And it kind of just went from there. We did a video clip, we did American Idol, and the girls from Request flew up to help me with that, and we performed, and it was really cool to be a part of it.
I was not in the least bit surprised that Paris showed up with Jennifer Lopez. It's like Michael Jordan being discovered. People were going to find him. People find that talent. People gravitate towards that talent. And whether it was on YouTube or at a convention or wherever it was, she was about to be found, and she was not going to be stopped.
I was working with Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony on a show that I produced called Que Viva. And Jennifer was thinking about going on tour, and she was kind of just going through images with me one day on the set. And she said, have you heard about this choreographer, Paris? And, she's from New Zealand. She's got a lot of great energy, and have you seen her work? I felt like a complete idiot because I hadn't seen any of her work. And, but she showed me a YouTube clip of Paris doing, I don't remember the name of the choreography, but it was something with hands and touching and sitting next to another performer. So beautiful. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, we have to use her. And Jennifer's like, well, I already am.
So let's do the combination of both. When we land, we're getting up, but we're looking, and then we go 7. Still the same thing, 7. Then we
So Jamie King is the director of the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show, and after seeing what I did for J-Lo, he basically pitched me the offer of choreographing for the show. So yeah, it was amazing, and I couldn't turn it down. I said yes straight away.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I think in the industry, people are constantly looking for something new and something fresh, and I think that's what I bring. Actually, I know that's what I bring. They can't deny that it's something that they've never seen before, and I know that because I never copy people.
Okay, so for me, when you guys run, you look scared to run, or you look like you're going to jump soon. So to make the push look natural, don't think about the push. Boom.
So with Paris, I try not to let her know how big it is. It's maybe better that she doesn't know, although I feel like she'd handle it well because she handles stress really well, better than most people I work with. But doing a Cirque show is a huge deal. There's over 65 performers in our show. It is a big spectacle that is meant to live on for many, many, many years. Yeah, Paris, no pressure.
So the Palace Dance Studio now offers people a pathway to have a career in dance. That's what it does. And to be honest, we've spoke about this. We don't need the Palace anymore in Paris's life. There's no need to have it. But the Palace, in her eyes, is a place that confirms her statement to follow your dreams. That's what the Palace does, because she can't say that and not have a place for people to do it. So that's why she keeps the Palace open. We need to drive that energy in that opening scene, everybody. When you feel your feet go through those curtains, you're going to bring everything you got. You all good?
Yeah.
Murder on 3, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Murder on the dance floor. So now we have dancers who arrive on our doorstep at the age of 10 and know by the age of 18 they can be dancing in the US as a career and a living. That's what the Palace allows people to do. And even for those that don't want to have it as a dance career, they have a place to be able to dance in the world's best. So you know, we're the #1 hip hop studio in the world, in New Zealand. So we're in their backyard, so they can come and learn from the best and be one of the best. So it's great.
I can't wait to see what the future holds for Paris Goebel. She's undoubtedly going to be doing something no one else has done. I think she's got that type of fire and that drive and passion and creativity that, you know, she's going to be doing something that we don't yet see. And I'm really excited to see what that is.
Well, I want to put her on one of my Madonna tours, for sure. I think her and Madonna would get along just great. She's got a great disposition, Paris, and I think she'd work well with Madonna, so that would be a fun, I think, collaboration.
Right now, the next big project for her is a show that's inside her head. I'm not sure what that show looks like. It scares me a little because I think it's got a big budget, but I think without a doubt she'll be making her own shows.
I say if you think big, then you're going to do big things. It's in each and every one of us. We can take a hobby and make it a career. It's really, I think we can all do it. Everyone can do it. It's a matter of how serious you take it. I started thinking big about my talent. The more big things came to me, you know. And now that, you know, J-Lo and Cirque du Soleil have come to me, what I think I can do has just gotten even bigger. I want to create things that aren't around right now. I have a feeling inside of me that I'm going to be creating something in the future that doesn't exist right now.